Did you know that Hasbro already made a Nemesis action figure back in 2007? That's almost 20 years ago now, so it's a little hard to come by, but it was a pretty cool looking action figure. And that design was based off the original Age of Apocalypse design of Nemesis. Well, now there's a new wave of Marvel Legends coming out, and the Build-A-Figure this time around in 2025 is Nemesis, the first Build-A-Figure of 2025. Naturally, the Marvel collectors out there are talking about this because it seems like the Build-A-Figure waves don't come quite as frequent as they used to. So this does feel like a pretty big deal, right? But are these action figures any good, guys? Well, stick around and let's find out together. The first action figure we're going to look at from this wave, guys, is Wolverine. This one is based on his appearance from the X-Treme X-Men comics. This one doesn't come with a Build-A-Figure, and they do it that way because he's the most popular character in the wave. Anytime that you have a really popular character in the wave, or one that they think is going to be popular, they just omit the Build-A-Figure part as a 7th action figure. This is something I wish they'd quit doing and just omit the figure altogether in the wave. But regardless, this is a pretty decent action figure in the wave, and I think that it represents the character from the source material very well. He has his utility belt, he has a okay looking shirt. The sleeves are kind of just painted on his arm, so it's not as nice looking as the rest of it. I think that his lower body looks a lot classier. The upper body just looks a lot older than the lower body does. Like, you can see that there's a certain kind of quality to the action figure, like it looks newer. I wish I could think of a better way to phrase it. The plastic looks different. It looks like it's more finessed as opposed to the upper body where it feels more primitive. Overall, it doesn't look bad, and he comes with some decent accessories. He comes with 2 sets of extra hands, which is nice for Wolverine. It just feels like this is one that they're kind of, doing it halfway instead of all the way. The next action figure we're going to look at, guys, is Cortez, and it's okay. It looks like the character well enough, I guess. It's just that we're looking at another really old looking body. The best thing about him, I think, is the gloves and the boots. Those look nice. Cape doesn't look bad, but I don't know. It's just, God, that body looks old. It's hard to get into it because it looks like it belongs in 2015 instead of 2025. Head sculpt is pretty good too, and I like the special effects they include with him. And they did remember to get like his long hair on there, so that's nice. I guess I understand why they're not spending as much time on this one, because he's a character that is not really going to move as opposed to Wolverine or Cyclops or any of the other main X-Men, right? But it's such a ho-hum action figure that I kind of wish they would have just not bothered with him. The next action figure we're going to look at is Husk, and this is one that is kind of cool in some respects. I love the accessories that they have with her. It's kind of uncanny because they've got this flap of skin they just decided to include with it to represent her powers, and then they included an extra head where the skin is peeling off. It looks really cool. That's wild to have in like this mainstream release. It's not something you expect, but her body is the exact same as Monet's was, down to the zipper that's incomplete because they're just reusing part of a lady body mold. The next action figure we're going to look at, guys, is Nightcrawler, and this one is based on his appearance from X-Force. This one's okay. He looks mostly right. I do notice that the middle piece is just a standard repaint of a Nightcrawler action figure, and that's not really a great surprise. Although the X-Force appearance of Nightcrawler, I believe, is supposed to have just one piece on the black portion of his costume there. If they were going to do it this way, it might look better if they just had the gray in the middle of the chest. It's kind of hard to say what the best way to handle this is because I've seen all kinds of designs for X-Force Nightcrawler, so I mean, pick whichever one you like best. The rest of the action figure looks pretty okay, and the accessories are good. Comes with some extra hands, comes with a saber, comes with an extra head. Other than what I just mentioned, this is a pretty nice release, and I think it represents the character pretty okay. If you support what I do, please click subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss a single video of mine when it comes out. And if you're enjoying this video about the new Marvel Legends X-Men Nemesis Wave, please give it a like, guys, because these are tough to put together. and I really appreciate it.
The next action figure we're going to look at, guys, is Cyclops, and this is the Vulcan body repainted. And I've said this before, but that's no great surprise because Cyclops, I mean, Vulcan is his brother, so they're going to use that body to make Cyclops. It just makes good sense. They're related, right? There's nothing really wrong with this action figure, but I think that the joy in this one comes with the accessories, because he does come with some pretty gnarly optic blast effects. Like, his optic blast effects here are crazy. He's got like the one that's radiating. He's got one that's just a straight concussive blast. He comes with an extra head that's got him screaming while he's shooting his optic blast. This is a really cool action figure. The hands are pretty typical fare. One is kind of open, and then one is opening his visor. Then he comes with some fists. The body itself is whatever, but man, those special effects are really cool. I don't know how popular Cyclops really is, but it's undeniable that its accessories here rule. The penultimate action figure we're going to look at, guys, is Gambit. And this one, I'd say, is mostly right. I think that all the details here are in line with what we see from the Age of Apocalypse series. The only thing that really sticks out to me is that the red band is on his leg in the right, well, it's on the right leg, but it's down on his calf instead of on his thigh. I don't know why, but it looks like it might be big enough to push up onto his thigh. It's just weird that it's down there. He comes with a set of extra hands. That's cool. He comes with his staff. That's cool too. The sculpt looks like it's pretty unique to him. I don't know if it's all unique, but I am seeing a lot of unique elements here, and that's really nice to see. He does have a waist swivel and ab crunch instead of the ab crunch and torso rocker, so I'm inclined to believe that that's a slightly older piece in the middle there. But at least it looks like everything else is done up pretty well, because it's kind of hard to fake those arms on the side, you know, because it's got some really nice textures there. Yeah, his arms and his legs are looking real good. They even got the asymmetrical boots on them, and that's an important detail for Gambit. I'm surprised they went the extra mile for that, but they did, and this action figure is better for it. Okay, I lied. So this is actually the penultimate action figure we're going to talk about today, and it's Marrow. And they did a really nice job on this one, guys. This one looks exactly like the character from the comics. I can't see anything on here to really criticize. It looks like her. They got little bone details. They got like the nice separations in her costume where they should be. Everything is well textured where it should be too. It looks like the character, and they've even got a set of extra hands and her little, what do you call them, bone knives in there, and they got the bone wings on her. She's pretty gross looking when you really think about it too hard, but I mean, she's there, and they did a great job on it, so I guess if I'm this grossed out, that means they knocked it out of the park. Nice job, Hasbro. The last action figure we're going to look at today, guys, is of course the Build-A-Figure Nemesis. And this is not based on the original Nemesis from Age of Apocalypse. This is based on his newer design. This is a really cool, well-detailed action figure with a lot of texture, a lot of solid articulation, and a lot of love put into it. Obviously, the helmet is removable, so you can see the fire detail and the skull underneath. That's a cool feature. There's a lot of separations in the sculpt between armored plating and the, what do you even call it? The padding underneath that? The insulation? Whatever it takes to keep Nemesis's suit held together, I guess. Regardless, I love this action figure, and Hasbro obviously devoted a lot of time and resources to it. More so than pretty much every other action figure in the wave, I think. This is usually how it goes with a Build-A-Figure wave, where the Build-A-Figure gets the lion's share of the resources, and then the rest of the wave gets scraps. I have mixed feelings about that, but I can't deny that the final result turned out great. So if you're into it and you want this version of the character, here it is. This is about as good as he's gonna get, I think. As is usually the case with the new Build-A-Figure wave from Marvel Legends, there's a lot of good to go along with everything, but there's also a lot of things that could be improved on. I guess you could call it a lot of bad, but let's be real. I mean, this isn't that bad of a wave. This is a pretty okay wave, all things considered.
Well, Soulmates, what do you think of this new wave of Marvel Legends? Is this Nemesis Build-A-Figure wave one that you have to have? I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments. And be sure to check out my toy reviews in the meantime. I'll catch you again later, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye, everybody.